guys, welcome back to another episode of Sleeping Giants, Red Star Belgrade. Now, it is Boxing Day for you guys when you're watching this, so I hope you had a very nice Christmas Day. I'm actually recording this on Christmas Day, which is why I'm kind of gorging myself on this plate of jelly tots that I happen to have sitting next to me, so yeah, that's what I'm doing right about now. Anyway, let's go straight into things. So, I'm still scouting stuff, and I've got a couple of transfers that I'm bidding on a few players and stuff, but we'll talk about those when I've actually signed them, because, I don't want to go through that until we've actually signed a few. There's a couple of youngsters I'm looking at. I'm going to do a segment in my Pompey episode later tonight where I talk about how I actually find these youngsters, because I know a few of you have been asking, and I'm going to do a little bit more in depth as to how I actually do it, because I do explain it when someone asks me, but I have to do it through comments, and the other people don't see those comments, so you can understand what I mean. So yeah, let's jump straight into things today. You obviously saw our 2-1 win against KR in the Champions League qualifier. A little bit I think we could have maybe won by more, but the point is we won the away game, and that's what was necessary. In our next game, it was a friendly against Cercle Bruges, Belgian side, and Jovic, I didn't start because obviously I don't play friendlies, but my assistant started Jovic up front, and he actually scored twice for us, so that was a fairly decent performance from us, and it was good to see. In our next game, which was only a few days later, and maybe I should have just rested. There's a few players were rested for this one. We actually had the home game against KR, and we were very, very comfortable in this one. Vukan Savicevic, Milos Bosancic, and Denis Strakwa with the goals. And that was great to see, because we've scored some absolute cracking goals, and Savicevic and Bosancic have been superb for us so far in the games we've played up to this point. We then had a friendly... Oh, actually, we'll just take a little look properly at the stats for this game, because this is actually a competitive fixture, so you guys will want to be seeing this. And when I get the new computer, I will actually show highlights, like 3D match highlights, of all of the games in these modes. It's just I can't do it at the moment because the loading time is... horrific. So as you can see, lots of two clear-cut chances, 5 half chances. They may have had this, but this was all kind of late in the game when they decided to come out, as we were by far the better side and deserved to take not all three points, but take a 5-1 lead. And that was enough for us to get an aggregate win. And we were drawn against Maribor in the next round, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Hoffenheim was our next game in a friendly. We actually put ourselves in front through Milos Bosancic's penalty on 5 minutes, but then Sead Salilovic and Anthony Modeste won the game, and that's not really that much of a surprise. Hoffenheim are a good side, as we found out in our St. Pauli save. But it was the next game that I was determined to get something, and we were you've not seen lucky till you've seen this game, I swear to God. Look at the stats on this one. Maribor were brilliant. I was not expecting them to be as good as they were, but then you got to look at it. They were in the Champions League group stages this year. They knocked out Celtic, and that was the second time Celtic had been knocked out of it just this year. And Maribor were the team that did it. Obviously got battered when they got into the groups, but they're not a bad side. So we held them off for quite a long time. It was me struggling to find a way to actually get a grip on this game, really. At half-time, we'd had one shot, and it wasn't even on target. But when Željko Razdra? I don't know, put them in front on the stroke of half-time, it was annoying, but at the same time, I was not in any way surprised by it. Changed a few things at half-time, and we won a penalty on 57 minutes, which Milos Bosancic dispatched with aplomb. All the different flavours of plum, he put it in the net, and that was great. His penalty taking, he's got some great sort of dead ball. He's like a dead ball specialist, apart from corners. He could do with boosting that, but frankly, we've got other players that can do that. And then Vukan Savicevic actually put us in front, and we, make no mistake, we did not deserve to win this game. Look, although we did create more clear-cut chances than them. 2-1 to us. So, I don't know. Like, we may not have created much in terms of... They had a lot of shots, but it was all sort of bark and no bite. So I don't know, maybe we it doesn't deserve to win, but a draw maybe. Which gives us a 2-1 lead going into the game that we're going to be playing today in this live call. So that's important. I've got my I can remember the kind of thing that we tried against this lot, because it did not go well with our sort of standard tactic. We need to drop a little deeper, and there's a few things I'm going to change, but we'll change that when we get into the game. In our next game, we had the Super Cup final, and basically the plan was for this one to rest players. I did a full squad rotation in terms of I clicked on the quick pick full squad rotation, and it didn't really change a great deal. But we just don't have that big of a squad at the moment. So there were a few changes, as you'll see from the lineups. Goalkeeper Pekovic, Savicevic, Mihailovic, Antic, Kovacevic, Bosancic, Lazovic, Savicevic, Rakic, Strakwa, Marinkovic, Stojkovic, and Ivanovic. These are the sort of players that are, we did have a few new boys, But that being said, we were absolutely goddamn brilliant in this game. And you might think, what in the name of God happened here? You're always complaining when this happens to you. Yeah. Right. Difference being, when this happens to me, we've had the same amount of clear-cut chances or more than them. Notice here, we created 7 clear-cut opportunities and put 5 of them in the net. I don't really consider that to be unreasonable. They may have had a lot of shots, but they didn't really create much in terms of actual quality opportunities, and that's the difference. That, if we'd have lost a game 5-1 and had those sort of stats, I would not have cared. It's when you have the same amount of decent opportunities and half chances, and then you lose so heavily. And I know people say, well, clear-cut chances don't matter, they're not a sign of the game. Well, then what is the stat for then? That's like saying possession doesn't matter. Well, it does, because if you have no possession, you're not going to score. Obviously, you can score without that much possession, but the point is these things all do still matter. Clear-cut chances are a stat that measures when they're in front of the goal in a one-on-one situation or very, very close to the goal in those sort of situations, generally. So those are good goal-scoring opportunities, and you'd think the more of those you have, the more goals you're going to score. That's just sort of a general rule of these things. But I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment in my Pompey save later where we actually add up the numbers of clear-cut chances that you received as a ratio to goals and then compare that to the AIs just to see if there is actually any noticeable difference outside of just, you know, the margin of error for anomalies. But basically, yeah, we were fantastic in this game. In front of goal, especially, like, we were superb. Bosancic penalty put us in front on 8 minutes. Bear in mind, yeah, sorry, and then Lazovic made it 2-0, which was lovely and cushy. But then Vladimir Jovancic got one back for Jagodina, and I just kind of felt like it was going to be bullshit time again, because you know we've had a terrible time against them in the past, and this was a slightly weakened team. So I felt that this win has exercised our demons somewhat. When Savo Pavicevic made it 3-1, and then, of course, an own goal not long after that, I don't think. Oh, okay, midway through the second half, just as I was about to make substitutions, actually. Made those changes. Now, you might notice I made some subs earlier in this game. The reason I did that is just because I wanted to try and rest players. Once we went 3-1 up and then, of course, 4-1 up, I decided to just rest as many players as I could for the game in the Champions League that we're playing today. And then Strakulurshi got one late for us to make it 5, which was fantastic, and I really enjoyed that win. And that was the ultimate exercise of demons, because Jagodina were my bogey team last year. They had some... They pissed me off so much, but we managed to beat them to both the Cup and the league, and now the Serbian Super Cup. So that's 3 pieces of silverware. Also, that's 13 games in a row we've won in all competitions, I think. Or is it 14? I don't know. It's a lot. Because we won our last, 8? No, it's 12, I think. It's still a lot of games. We won our last 8-9 games of last season. We've won our first 4 competitive games of this season as well. I don't expect us to win today, though. Let's just take a quick look at the squad, because again, I will be going over transfers when we've actually signed some people properly. I'm still scouting and doing my thing at the moment, so we'll talk about that more when we've actually got it done. Savicevic is our top goal scorer, along with Bosancic with 3 apiece. You can notice that we're not getting a lot of goals from our strikers at the moment, and I do need to look at that a little. Assist-wise, Lazovic with 3. Man of the match is Lazovic and Savicevic. Pass rating, Despotovic has actually got a fairly high pass rating. That's interesting to see. I'm just wondering whether we should actually have switched some things up and maybe have him more of as a deep lying forward and then switch Savicevic to a shadow striker. I'm just wondering if I could try that out at some point. In fact, I might even do it today. That is a big risk, I know, but part of me just thinks that is what this system is missing. Because Savicevic is scoring so many goals, but I just think that if he was slightly more encouraged to get forward even more so, then he would be able to get himself more goals. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that a shadow striker, but I am going to drop Strakulursi at the moment. It won't be Strakulursi today. Into either being a defensive forward or a deep lying forward. Playing in his strike partner? Yeah, I think... Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Maybe just off to the side. No, we're putting directly in front. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try today. I know that sounds strange to try something like this right now, but I just feel like that's going to work. Anyway, we're going to match preview now. Get things through. So, yeah, we've got ourselves... They all seem to play... Right, this is something I've noticed. This KR played this too. This sort of 3-5... to this same formation, basically. And you'd think we'd be able to beat it by playing the same style. No. Right, so we're going to do a quick pit with this style. So Jovic is going to be the man that's going to come in. Is that really wise? I'm going to give him a try, but I'll bring Despotovic on if I need to, basically. So yeah, that's what we're going to go for. I know I've got team instructions here, but I'm going to change that when we actually get into the game screen, because I know that these instructions work well for us in the league. I just want to change them specifically for this one game. So let's get going. Apply advice to team. It's better. Right, team talk. Right, I'll do it on this screen, because some stuff did not work in the first leg. And, I mean, I know we're away from home here, but that's probably even more reason to do this. So, what I did in the last game was I turned off push higher up, and I had us closing down a little bit more. What else did I change? I turned off pass into space, because we weren't getting enough possession anyway. And we went with whipped crosses. That was all we changed. And I'm hoping that that is going to make the difference for us today. But only time will tell. All we need is to not lose here, really, and we've not lost in quite some time, so it'd be great if we could avoid that today. We're expected to get into the next round. That's sort of our season expectations. So if we can do it today, that would be glorious, and I would really like to see our new idea with the Shadow Striker work, because I just think Savicevic is good enough to play in that role. It basically means that we've just got that extra man in there. Oh, don't let them score off the opening. There we go, Bosancic lumps it long. This could all go horribly wrong for us today, I am fully aware, but I'm prepared to take that risk, just as I have done in other games. You know, Maribor are a decent side, and they've looked good to start with, but 7 minutes in, I'm just trying to keep an eye on things. How did that ball go through? There's two of them there. Oh, good stuff. Well done. Stankovic? Harima must still be injured. But we've got away with one there. That was a good clear-cut chance from them, apparently. Perhaps I wouldn't really consider that. Virisic ball in, and oh, he's got it through again. Oh, come on. He was the thing is, though, a 1-0 win is enough for them to go through, and that's the problem now, because they have that away goalness. He was the thorn in my side in the last game, and I can't. I wonder. I thought we cleared the danger, but when that ball comes back in... Oh, he is injured, though, which means he may have to go off, and amazing to score from that angle. Good. I'm glad the goalkeeper sat down for him. That was perfect goalkeeping there. Absolutely shocking. Right, yes, I know he needs to be closed down. That, you don't need to tell me. Clearly what we're doing is not working at the moment, so we're going to just... I'm going to revert back to our... oh, of course I can't, can I? Right, we're going to turn that off. Turn that on. Turn that off. Try that. Because we are away from home, they're going to come at us. And if anything, maybe we should be gone more of a counter-attacking style, but that's not really relevant to our play. Someone said to me the other day that it was dumb of me to stay on attacking when we were winning a game. Well, it's all very well, but if you are on attacking and you're unfamiliar with a different mentality, then surely, and I've noticed this in the past, when I switch to an unfamiliar mentality, that just makes the team worse. So I prefer to stick with what's working sometimes, just because, you know, I'll find sometimes go on defensive for the last 5 minutes, and sometimes you can get away with it, but you also sometimes don't get away with it. So that's why I did it. I didn't, you know, think I'd change to something like control just because we weren't familiar with that particular style of play, and I figured it could cause us more harm than good. Sorry, I don't know why I paused it when I was talking there. I just wanted to try and explain that without having to miss anything in this game. We are a goal behind, and oh my god. Well, thankfully we got Nesh Peshnik. No, what? Hang on, get back onto the game. We do need something. A 1-1 draw would take us through, but at the moment we don't look like creating enough goals to score the 1-1 draw, and at the moment it looks like, if anything, they're more likely to get a second goal, and that is not good time. That is bad news bears. That's a good... Oh, Jovic is through here. Jovic, Savicevic, and they've lost the ball, but we got it back. Jovic, Gavric, can he get the ball in? Go on. Oh, too far, too far. Go on, get on it. Oh, come on, somebody put a tackle in. Anyone. Oh, please don't lose on the counter-attack to these guys. I thought we were about to get our chance here. Volas. But they're having a little bit more trouble moving the ball about now that we're not closing down quite as much. Oh, no, they're not. It's going to knock it through and score. There we go. Well done, Stankovic. they've been by far the better side in the opening stages of this game, so that's no real complaints about that. If we can get to half-time at 1-0, I can try and regroup and try and figure something out for this second half. This is kind of what happened in the last game. It's just, oh, please don't make it 2-0 before half-time. They're playing out from the back. That's interesting. Do we have stop short goalkeeper distribution on? And go on, you should win that. Oh, come on! Oh, right, and you should win that. And I just feel like they're about to just knock a ball over the top and score. Oh, there it is. Razdry, and he's... Oh, what a save from Stankovic. That is a top quality save. But what I have noticed is there's no way in hell that I'm not dropping deeper now, because they're clearly able to get in behind us, and I think this is what I changed mainly in the last game. I just didn't want to start this game too deep. So there we have it. Not the best first half performance. We need a goal. That is all we need, though. One goal and we're through. I don't want to go out on away goals. What can we change? Oh. They like to play it short. I did notice that. So if we can stop that, maybe get them to lump it in the midfield a bit more, we can win some headers and try to get the ball a bit more that way. They like to play it out from the back, and I think if we're pressurising them and stopping their short distribution, that might actually give us a bit of an advantage. Make them lump it long, see whether that affects their game. Bosancic, Antic. Round the corner for Jovic! Oh yes! 1-1. Get in there! Maribor 1, Red Star Belgrade 1, and I tell you what, I think it may well have worked, although that could just be a false dawn. I think cutting off their short distribution routes may well have worked. Lovely short free kick, Antic with the lovely ball through, and Jovic with the good finish, although, gotta tell you, goalkeeper should have done a lot better there, Ledasek. But it is, and this means that if they go back in front, even if they win this game now, it doesn't make any difference at 2-1, because, yep, we'll do that. Oh, Bosancic. Go on, Milos. Oh. Yeah, if we, oh, I'll tell you what, if we get a second goal here, that would be absolutely glorious, because they'd then need 3. And I think that would be too much for them. 3 in the last 28 minutes? I mean, I've seen it happen before, but I think that would be it. Jovic! Oh, he's at the post! And suddenly, Red Star Belgrade have come flying into this game. That goal has breathed life into us. I'm going to make one substitution now. Although we've already had to make one. So I'm just going to make one more. Who's knackered? Bosancic is a little bit knackered, but there's not really anyone that can play there in that central midfield. We should really look to get some more centre mids. Although I think we've just got them out injured at the moment, which is more the issue here. Kovacevic is looking a bit... Yeah, okay, we'll bring on Gojic. We can just survive the last few minutes of this game. Well, I say last few minutes, 25 minutes. We'll have mugged them a little bit, but... Oh, Bosancic again. Milos Bosancic, there we go! Oh, Maribor 1, Red Star Belgrade 2. I don't know how we've done it, but we've done it a bloody again, lads. I can only assume that we've worked our set pieces very, very well, like we did in the last game, and we've cut off their short distribution, and again, their goalkeeper is an absolute pony. I don't know what he's playing at. And now their best players just got injured. I think we may well be home and dry here. They need 3 goals in the last 15 minutes here. So I'm just gonna make a substitution there. Maybe one more for us. That'd be delightful. Oh, and it's not in the net, but we're looking a lot better in this second half. We've not dominated, but we've certainly had the better of the chances in this second half. We rode our luck a little in the first half, but it looks like we are about to head through to the next round of the Champions League, and that is really, really impressive. When I saw the way they played against us in this tie for pretty much the entire thing, they've been good. We're going to make one more sub now, just for the last 10 minutes. I'm going to... bring on Planic here just to get Petkovic off, because he's probably the most knackered player outside of Bosancic. Sorry, losing track of myself here. We're not going to concede enough goals in the last 5. We're not going to see 3 in the last 5 minutes here, even if they do go on overload against us, so we should be good. Planic, Peshnik, maybe one more, that'd be superb to see. Bosancic, Savicevic, round the corner for Jovic. Will he shoot? Or will he knock it in for someone? Peshnik, out for Planic, crossed in. Jovic is going to certainly not hit the net from there, but definitely another good opportunity, and now it's 3 clear cuts apiece. The changes we've made have clearly done the trick for us, and we're obviously a lot more clinical in front of goal, which has been the key for us. We've scored 4 goals against Maribor, and I really don't think we deserve as many as that, but even if they were to score twice now, they'd still go out because of away goals. So I'm fairly confident in just leaving things as they are at the moment. Although if they got one back here, which they're clearly not about... they're a bit unlucky actually there. But it's a goal kick, and I think that's going to be us through. There we go. We are going to be through to the next round. Gavrich's ball in, headed away, and that should do it, lads. And Peshnik drops it in for Jovanovic. I assume there must have been an injury or something, because there we go. Maribor 1, Crvena Zvezda 2, and that is us through. Very surprised, actually. I thought it could have gone a lot worse. We've been fairly good. And I think that once we started changing things, our little front movements did well, although admittedly it was the 2 goals were sort of essentially from set pieces, but you can't help it. If you can exploit them, you will exploit them. So the Champions League playoff draw isn't for a few days, so you won't find out who are actually going to be playing in the next round until the next episode. Next episode, it'll probably be the second leg of the Champions League playoff. Because that, I want to show you the Champions League games as live comms. So we're going to have a couple of league games. We've got Spartak Kukuriki, the first leg of the Champions League, and obviously Radnik Serdulica in our league games. But we've also got the first leg of the Champions League game, which we don't know if that's a home or away yet, so we haven't been drawn. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, please feel free to drop a like on this video, and if you'd like it even more than that, please feel free to subscribe to my channel for more Pompey and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And I've just noticed we actually now have won 13 games in all competitions in a row, so that's awesome. And I'll see you guys in the next episode for the unknown game against unknown. I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.